Zolder in Belgium will host the finals of the 2018 NASCAR Whelen Euro Series over the weekend of the 20th and 21st of October. The fans flocked to see some wheel-to-wheel action in the finals in 2017. With double championship points available, there'll be plenty of action on track. Who will follow in the footsteps of 2017 champions Tomo Ferrando and Alan Day, and who will lift the championship trophy? Well, welcome along to Circuit Zolder for what will be coming up very shortly, the final championship race for the 2018 Elite 2 division. We are bathed and basked in sunshine here. It's a chilly morning, though, in Belgium at this circuit, which for the fourth year on the trot is hosting the finals of the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. Of course, steeped in history, the circuit that first opened up in the 1950s and was originally built around a 1.56-mile circuit that, although fairly primitive, was very much a step forward from the street races that had existed here before. Its current configuration, it's 2.5 miles, it's 4 kilometres long. The cars are there at the end of the pit lane, ready to head out onto circuit. But before they head out onto circuit and we introduce our guests in the commentary box, let's look back at some of the highlights from yesterday. Well, a win for Alan Day in the Elite 1 division yesterday, a win for Florian Venturi in the Elite 2 division. It means that Ulysse Delso leads the championship coming into this final race. Florian Venturi, though, moves up into second position, and the problems for Guillaume de Flandre, who was the championship leader, drop him down into fourth. It's beautifully poised as we head into our final race of the season. We're hugely thankful to the competitors for putting on a fantastic show. We're hugely thankful to our sponsors, and I'm delighted to say that, of course, representing title sponsors, Whelen Engineering, joining me in the commentary box for a quick chat before we then start to build up the anticipation into our final race of the season, is Peter Giese, who is General Manager for Motorsport in Whelen. Welcome along to the commentary box, and first of all, thank you very much for your support. We're delighted that you're our title sponsors again this year, Peter.
Well, thank you very much for having us here. Beautiful facility. Couldn't be happier on the show that Team FJ, Anna and Jerome put on, and just excited to get today going.
It's sort of a real family that we have with yourselves, and I think we're going to have somebody from Moog up later on. You know, it allows us to sort of present your products, and you look at where Whelen Engineering is as a company. You know, the market that you're involved with has evolved massively. Things like CAN-bus technology coming in 15 years ago, improvements in LED lighting. You know, it's a fast-moving industry.
It is. I started there 36 years ago, and I've seen the company grow throughout the years. And, you know, as you said, the new technology, the campus security, I mean, some of the LED floodlighting, and we're not just warning lights anymore. We cover a wide spectrum of lighting, and it's exciting, and there's a lot more to come in the future.
And you look at the man behind Whelen as a company, Sonny Whelen, who I'm sure you know very well, and I bump into him once a year. You know, you cut him in half, and he bleeds motor racing.
Yeah, Sonny's a great guy. Him and his wife Christine, we do the whole IMSA circuit together. Of course, the championship last weekend. Couldn't be prouder for Sonny. I mean, he really loves racing, and you know, we love coming to these shows and representing Whelen, and it's a lot of fun.
With what you learn from your involvement with NASCAR, whether it be on the other side of the Atlantic or this side of the Atlantic, do you sort of build that knowledge then into the products that you deliver out to your clients?
Oh, we do. One of the big focuses is, you know, all the safety workers here, the record drivers, the police officers that greet you when you come in, the firefighters, just everyone in general, use our products.
Yeah.
And if you want to see a Whelen light show, come to a race, whether it's in the States or over here in Europe.
And you know, even the drivers see all of those, because you go to the circuits in Europe, in the UK, where I'm from, over in America as well, and the high visibility lighting and the FIA lighting that sits on the side of the circuits that replaces some of the flag signals, that's Whelen product as well in cases.
It is, absolutely. Their track hooks them into their loop system, and you know, when they throw the yellow flag, you know, our lights come on, and we continue to get those better and better as the years go on as well.
And also, I assume, you know, it gives you the opportunity for some of your clients to come along who perhaps, you know your product inside and out and have been very loyal to you over the years, but it also gives you the opportunity for them to enjoy the spectacle of European NASCAR racing.
Yeah, absolutely. Paul Garner does a great job here in Europe bringing customers to races, and Thursday of this week, or this last week, we had our European sales meeting here for Whelen, so we have some of them in attendance this weekend as well.
And you've got plenty here. What sort of numbers have you got along here?
So, it's not a huge number, but probably 16 people.
All right, okay. But
yeah,
they're all out to enjoy themselves, and for some of them experiencing NASCAR for the first time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you very much for joining us in the commentary box, Peter. Sorry, it's rather brief, but we really sincerely appreciate the support of Whelen and yourself and Paul Garner and everybody that's involved in becoming part of the Team FJ and European NASCAR family.
Well, thank you for having us.
My absolute pleasure. So we can see the cars are now lining up on the grid, ready for the start of the final NASCAR Elite 2 race of the season. And let's just guide you through the grid. We can see the cars there on the grid. So, on pole position, this is based on the fastest laps that were set in yesterday's race. The car to the right of your screens with the red front and the black tail end of it. Number 24, a Belgian driver, so his home European NASCAR Grand Prix. Guillaume Dumoulin sits there on pole position, and alongside him, as the cars are now almost being readied for those infamous words to be ushered, there is the pole sitter. That is Guillaume Dumoulin, who sits there on pole position, which is the left-hand side of the circuit. It means he's got the inside line on the run in towards turn 1, but he's got the outside line for turn number 2. Alongside him is the car that's half white and half black, which is Ulysse Delceau. He leads the championship coming now into this race. There is that car that sits on the outside of the front row of the grid, Ulysse Delceau, number 6, the Toyota Camry for RDV competition. Row 2 of the grid is number 32. That's the Florian Venturi-driven Ford Mustang. And alongside him is number 11, Felipe Rebello, who had an incident yesterday. The car's repaired by PK Carlsport, and his Chevrolet Camaro sits there on row number 2. There's the graphic that shows you how the grid lines up. The third row of the grid, number 46, Justin Kuntz for Racing Total with the Ford, as the sound is given for the drivers to start their engines for this final race of the season. And alongside him on row number 3 is number 56, which is Mattia Breza for Cal Racing. It says it's a Chevy, it's actually a Toyota for this weekend. Row 4 of the grid is number 77, Guillaume de Flandre, who was leading the championship but had problems yesterday with the drivetrain failing in the car. So the Memphis Racing Chevy is 7th on the grid. He's got work to do. His championship hopes haven't disappeared, but it is going to be difficult for him. And alongside him is number 2, Kenko Miura for Alex Caffey Racing. His Toyota races in both Elite 1 and the Elite 2 division that we see out there now. The 5th row of the grid, number 7, Maxime Pampel, went well yesterday but suffered problems with understeer as the race went on, and then was tagged into a little spin as well, which cost him positions. Alongside him is number 44, Gilles Linster. The 6th row of the grid is number 37, Willy Busenna, former champion and former world road cycling champion. Number 91, Tom Bonan, who joined us in the commentary box yesterday. Busy weekend for Tom, as he also races in one of the support races. The 7th row of the grid, 41, Max Lancer, alongside 73, which is Paul Guillot. The 8th row of the grid is 27, Pierluigi Veronese, who we're going to catch up with on social media. over the course of this weekend and post that in the coming weeks, so keep an eye out for that. Lines up alongside number 70, Mirko Schultes, as off they head on their warming-up lap. Ready to start the final warming-up lap, hopefully, of the season. Next row of the grid, number 78, Jerry De Vert, alongside 8, Nicola Risitano. The 10th row of the grid, 31, Francisco Parli, and number 10, Dietrich Steyrsens. The 11th row of the grid, that's where it starts to get interesting now. Number 1, Carmen Boitschil, leads the Ladies' Cup by 1 single point coming into this race. Alongside her is Simone Loretti, number 9, but right behind her is number 54 on the inside of the 12th row of the grid. That's her main championship rival, Ariana Casoli. As we say, there's just a single point separates those two cars in the Ladies' Cup. And at the back of the grid is number 90, Pedro Bonet, who had problems yesterday with the brakes on his car. Looks as though Ariana Casoli was a little bit slow away there, so off goes the number 54 car. That is the former Ladies' Cup champion, Ariana Casoli, but as we say, she's only 1 point behind Carmen Boitschil coming into this race, so in reality, whichever one of the two ladies finishes ahead of the other, that will sort out who is the Ladies' Cup champion for this year. There's other cups that we need to keep an eye on as well. The likes of the Rookie Cup is highly likely to go the way of the car of Florian Venturi, the number 32 car, the Go Fast Racing car that won yesterday's race and starts third on the grid. There is Florian just going through shot now as he heads up towards the cleaner chicane. And also we've got the Legend Trophy to consider as well, which is for the slightly older drivers, the bronze graded drivers, 40 and above at the beginning of the season, enter the Elite 2 Championship. Is potentially going to be another win in the Legend Trophy for Jerry De Vert, possibly, but that's not to say that Francisco Parli couldn't overhaul him at the wheel of the Blue Racing machine. So the car's trying to build the last little bit of temperature into their Control BF Goodrich tyres, and of course the brakes. The circuit here is quite hard, quite physical, both for the drivers. It's hard on the cars as well. There's several heavy braking points, not least of which into the cleaner chicane, into the Villeneuve chicane, and into the likes of Bolderberg Bocht as well, which is a tight right-hand hairpin. I'm delighted to say that coming to join me in the commentary box, thank you, it's been a bit of a sprint across for him, but reigning champion, could be a double champion, we'll know at the end of the day, is Alan Day. Alan, the tension builds, doesn't it? Final race of the season, as you well know.
You mean you talk about the Elite 2 race?
Elite 2, or we'll leave Elite 1 until later.
Yeah, I don't know, I'm thinking about the Elite 1 now because it's so big, but yeah, it's the last race of the season. Everybody's so pumped. Everybody wants to win the championship. I think they have a pretty tight battle there.
And thank you for coming to join us in the commentary box, because I know
I just ran from the grid.
Yeah, your focus is going to be on your race, but for the moment I really appreciate the fact that you're taking the time out on what is a busy day for you and a day where you need to be focused to come and join us, so thanks, Alan. So you can see the safety car is about to peel its way into the pit lane. Guillaume Dumouriez sitting there on pole position. Ulysse Delceau sits alongside. Remember, Ulysse leads the championship. Guillaume Dumouriez missed out at Tours. He wasn't there at Hockenheim because he's recently become a father, so he's not in the championship hunt, but he wants to win for the second time in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series, and of course his home NASCAR Grand Prix as well. So neat 2x2 order. Buckle up, everybody. We're about to go green here with the final race of the season for Elite 2. The green flag waves, and it's a good start from Guillaume Dumouriez. It looks as though it's not a bad start from Florian Venturi as well, who might be through into second as they head up towards Ulst, the first corner. It's all very tight as they feed their way through the first left-hander, but it's Guillaume Dumouriez that leads from Florian Venturi in second place, and Ulysse Delceau in third was a little bit slower away there, but of course he leads the championship coming into this race from Florian Venturi. And as a driver, I'm sure already he'll be doing the maths as to what he needs to do. But looks like we've got one off already. Justin Kuntz is off at turn number 1. And that car is beached in the gravel trap, Alan, which I fear may possibly mean already we might be heading towards a safety car.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it's a game of balance. You know, you know that you want to progress and to win the race and get as much point as you can, but you also need to save yourself and save the car, and you know that every small mistake can cost you the championship, so it's kind of a balance. You have to know exactly what to do.
For the moment, we still remain green by the look of things, so Guillaume Dumouriez is still pressing on.
No, safety car.
All right, safety car does now come out. Yeah, well spotted. Safety car down here. The flags have just come out at the far part of the circuit, so the car's now blending out of the throttle. So Ulysse Delceau, he was a little bit slower away there. Now, outside line at turn number 1. Oh, it looks as though there's also problems, and off in the gravel. That's Pierluigi Veronese that's gone off by the look of things. So that looks as though the number 27 car, the BVR Motorsport Ford Mustang, is beached backwards into the gravel trap. Driver that we saw racing in GT Italia Championship last year. He's in his rookie season. We've seen him out in Formula Renault and the Superstars series in the past, but that is out on the exit of, that's going to be Bianchi-Bocht. That is on the exit off. So he's got through the first left-hander Erst, and then through the turns 2 and turns 3. That's turn 4, where it looks as though that number 27 car of Pierluigi Veronese has disappeared off. So a couple of cars to scoop up, Alan. Your Elite 1 race yesterday went green all of the way. We'll just briefly, while we're under safety car, talk about that. Problems at Hockenheim, which you held your hand up and said you made the mistake. You put that right in race 2 at Hockenheim, and at Zolder. I know you as a circuit, you've been very successful, but of all the circuits we visit, it's perhaps not your favourite. But yesterday, great performance.
Well, it's not my favorite, but I mean, 4 years I'm here. I've pretty much quite a lot of success here, so it's pretty nice. But to be honest, I don't think about it at all right now. I can't even think about it. Like, all I think is to have a good race. Doesn't matter the result. I try to keep out of trouble, and yeah, try to be there in the end.
I was doing the maths last night. You can see on my piece of paper.
Yeah, I think if Gabion finished first, I need to finish at least fourth.
That's correct. Yeah, if Fred Gabion were to win, you have to finish fourth,
yeah,
and then you draw on points, and then we go to count back. Yeah, I did lots of maths last night.
Yeah, trust me, I did the math even before the race.
Driving around with your spotter doing the math.
I just passed Tinus and I started calculating.
That's exactly what will be happening in this race here as well. It looks as though also heading down pit lane. I just saw sneaking in there. I think that might be. Now, was that the car? Who's that that's just come down pit lane? It's Maxime Pampel. Yeah, I wondered if it was Maxime Pampel. It looks as though it was. The number 7 car has also been involved as well. So, great effort. You'll have seen the incident that befell Felipe Rebello yesterday in the Elite 2 race that we had. Great work by the PK Car Sport team to get that car sorted overnight and back out there. You would never know it was in the barriers yesterday with the wheel hanging off.
That was big one, huh? That was really big. And so happy to see that Felipe just jump out of the car and everything was fine. The car looks like a Mini Cooper after that crash.
It did, yeah.
Yeah, and the PK guys did probably a really good job putting that car together and being able to be there for a Elite 2 race, even for women. So, it's pretty impressive.
And you would never know, you'd never know. So they're just reordering the field at the moment, ladies and gentlemen, to make sure that they're back in the same order as they should have been prior to the safety car coming out as well. Back to your race yesterday, Stinis Longines was leading the race. He was possibly on for his first ever win in the Elite 1 Championship.
And I ruined that.
You ruined it. It was a great move there, around the outside at 1 to give you the inside for 2.
Well, he did the same to me on the start. He surprised me on the start. I didn't know that you can actually pass from that point. Oh, who's that?
That's another one off. That is the second. So both of the racers, or Racing Total cars, are out. That's Dietrich Sesen's car that's also gone into the barriers as well. There we can see Dietrich out of the car and walking away. And that car has, I can't quite tell where that car's gone off. You perhaps might have a better idea as to where that is on the circuit.
No,
yeah. So there's a fair chunk of the circuit that we can't see with the naked eye from our commentary box. The camera team are doing a fantastic work of picking up the action as it's been going round. But for the drivers as well, as we were hearing from Tom Bonan yesterday, because of the nature of this circuit, there's a period of it where you're not in communication with your spotter.
Yeah, as soon as we cross the first chicane, there is, well, I'm pretty sure some of them still have some good communication in radio, but I, for example, everything is like very noisy, and it's almost impossible because of the trees and the hills and all the elevation changes in the track, so really disturbing the radio. So yeah, mainly the most communication happened in the first straight line and in the back straight. That's where I have the time to talk also to my engineer and get the information back.
It always fascinates me, because I'll have the director and the producer chatting in my ear, but I'm just talking, and I'll listen to him if he's telling me things. But you're doing all of that, listening to your spotter, and talking back, and driving, and when you're not under safety car, driving as quickly as you can. I'm no good at multitasking. As a racing driver, you have to be.
Yeah, it's part of it. The better you are in multitasking, the stronger you will be. But it's so many things in driver that makes the driver a complete driver. You have to be in a good fitness. to be fit enough to handle that car. You have to be multitasking and it's not only just multitasking like steering wheel and shifter and everything. It's also like voice. It's not just visual. It's also the voice, because you're talking to other people, and you also, while you're talking, you also have to think about strategy. For example, yesterday I was chasing after Stines. I knew that if I will make a mistake, I will ruin my championship.
Sure.
Okay, I knew that if I will push too hard, I will destroy my tires for the second race. So you have to do so many calculations during the drive that it's a job.
And the way the human brain works as well is that the more tasks you perform, the slower your reactions become as well. And you have, as a racing driver, you have to train your body to sort of overcome that.
Yeah, that's part of the training. I think that's the reason why you see so many drivers practicing and training in simulators. Because simulator will give you the best example for that. You can put on yourself so many tasks to do.
And do you do that? Are you able to do that back home in Israel, or do you have to fly back over?
That's my daily routine, to be like at least 4 hours.
So you have your own simulator at home, yeah. And that maybe is what differentiates you. That could be why I'm
practicing quite a lot. I'm pretty sure I'm practicing more than any other driver on that whole track right now. That's my life. I mean, that's what I do. People sometimes don't understand that, or doubting my performance while I'm dominating or things like that. So yeah, that's what I do for my living. That's what I do in my life. And if I'm not in the racetrack, I'm training and driving and driving and driving and driving. That's all I do.
And that simulator, I'm assuming, because in these cars that we have here, whilst there's data acquisition systems on your cars, it doesn't measure lots of channels of data. I would imagine, and it's just me guessing, that the simulator you have at home, there's probably more telemetry data you can get off that than you could the actual car.
It's actually more than that. You can actually get data from your brain. I have like a device that actually reads your brain waves to know exactly how relaxed or what is your attention level.
Yeah.
You can go really deep into that. There is a lot of science behind it, and it's fascinating. I'm pretty sure, we are just in 2018. I'm pretty sure in like 10, 15 years, our abilities to drive cars will be in a new level. If we drive any car, it's not going to be totally automatic.
Well, there's a company that I've come across in the UK that are specific around, driver improvement, and they'll do the usual things, that they'll put together a fitness program for you, but they go a lot further than that, because not everybody genetically is the same. Understandably, we're all very unique, and our metabolisms work differently. So they put together an exercise and a dietary program that is based on
your personal.
Yeah, they take blood samples from you, they analyse those blood samples to an enormous degree, and then build a specific program to you, because you're different to Fred Gabillon, who's different to Loris Hazemans, and therefore you might be of a similar age, you might be of a similar physique, whatever it might be, but everybody is individual, and it's absolutely amazing. Just to say, the incident between car number 10 and car number 27 is being investigated at this stage. That is Pierluigi Veronesi and Dietrich Seyersens. So we can perhaps guess then where Dietrich Seyersens was on the circuit. So I would imagine at Bianchi-Bocht as well, which is turn number 4, where those two cars perhaps came together. That's being investigated and will be decided whether action is needed or not by the race director later on. We are now currently on lap number 4 under safety car here for the final race of the season. If things were to stay as they are at this stage, i.e. Guillaume Dumoulin leading the race as we still continue to reorder the pack, and Ulysse Delceau second with Florian Venturi third, Ulysse Delceau would be the champion. He would be on 505 points. Florian Venturi would be on 495 points if they stay where they are at this stage.
Man, you did some serious calculation there, huh?
That's what it's for, so that you know at any point what's going on. And then you have to keep your fingers crossed the maths is right.
Yeah.
Because it's double points. As you well know, we did a bit on social media. We posted the clips yesterday. Double points. You can't afford to be inconsistent in any racing championship, but when it comes to the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series and the semi-finals at Hockenheim, double points, here at Zolder, double points, you've got to be consistent.
Yeah, I mean, that's, as I always said, that's the biggest thing, to be consistent, not to make any mistakes. Technical problem, you saw yesterday. Loris, it's really sad to see Loris losing that battle for the championship just because of some mechanical problem and something that not in his hands, Yeah,
and Luca with brake problems for him, wasn't it? That's caused his sort of issues as well. So yeah, bitterly disappointed for them, but
But I'm happy.
At the same time, yeah, absolutely. You'd rather it not be, but as it is, you'll take it. Yeah,
I will take it. Yeah, exactly.
At least you're honest, Alan. At least you're honest. So, just while we're still reordering at this stage, still under safety car here on lap number 4, with no indication that the safety car is going to be in at the end of this lap. Driving in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series has also given you opportunity to head over to America as well, as we have seen earlier on this year with Fred Gabion and with Tomo Ferrando as well.
Yeah, it's not the first time I moved to I make some races in the States. I can say that everything came from the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. Without that, I wouldn't be there. So, yeah, the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series opened so many doors for you in the States. I'm also wishing good luck to Loris in the diversity combined program.
Because he's literally leaving here on a jet and straight out to America.
Just go to America, so good luck for him. And yeah, you can see so many drivers just go to the States and race there just because they've been here, they raced here. Some of them actually came from Elite 2 race, which is amazing. Also Justin Kunz, it's crazy.
Yeah, Camping World Series for him, wasn't it, earlier on this year? And wouldn't it be great to see our first driver who's come through the driver recruitment program, maybe been through the Elite Club to then work their way through to Elite 2 to Elite 1 and then maybe head out to America? That would complete the circle, wouldn't it?
So nice to see that. I mean, Gianmarco Ercoli, when he won in Brands Hatch, and even Stines yesterday, they came from Elite 2 race, from Elite 2 championship, and to be there in Elite 1 and fighting with us, that's, it's good.
These young guys coming through are putting you under pressure now. You're not old yourself, but there's some quick young guys out there.
Yeah, I mean, I said it yesterday. I mean, after I saw how Stines raced, next year you're probably going to be a major contender.
I heard you say that, and what I did like was the reaction between the two of you on the podium as he came up to congratulate you, and the smile on his face, just having lost the race, was as broad as yours having won it.
Yeah, we had such a fair fight. It was really, really nice, and yeah, I just hope for the same today.
Absolutely, yeah. There's no balance of performance. There's no traction control. There's no ABS. It's pure racing.
Yeah, and it's nice. I love it.
So reordering must almost be done now as well. We're still under safety car, so we can still see that whilst we're on the 5th lap of the race, number 24 car of Guillaume Dumoulin still continues to lead the race. Of course, Belgian driver at his home NASCAR Grand Prix for a Belgian team as well. We saw that happen this time last year, where Mark Goossens claimed to win for Brax Racing. Could Guillaume Dumoulin do the same for PK Car Sport, which would sort of be a good result for all the locals here? There'll be no shortage of people wanting to gather around Victory Lane if that were the case. Ulysse Delso second, the RDV competition Toyota Camry, second in the queue, third in the queue, the leading rookie. But yesterday's race winner could still be in with a shout for the championship as well, number 32, subject to what happens. The Frenchman from Go Fast Racing, the Ford Mustang of Florian Venturi. Fourth is Felipe Ribeiro, at the wheel of the second of the two PK Car Sport cars. No ill effects from his accident yesterday. Fifth is number 77, Guillaume de Flandre, who was the championship leader coming into this weekend, but problems for him yesterday dropped him down through the order. And sixth at this stage is number 2, Kenko Miura, who I don't know quite how Kenko does it, racing in both Elite 1 and Elite 2. Is going to be able to cope with the very physical demands of the Circuit Zolder. In the Ladies' Cup at this stage, we've got two drivers within a point of each other in the Ladies' Cup, Ariana Casoli and Carmen Boix-Gilles. It looks as though Carmen Boix-Gilles has just got the upper hand at this stage, but they're under safety car and we've still got lots of racing to go. We've not seen much racing yet, have we? If we look at the stricken car of Dietrich Seyersens, looking rather forlorn, isn't it, in the pit lane area? So there is Dietrich Seyersens' car. Neat 2x2 formation now. It looks as though we are going to go green at the end of this lap. So the safety car has reordered. It peels its way off the circuit. And here we go again. A bit of a replay, really, I suppose, almost from the first start. Guillaume Dumoulin will start at the front and have the inside line for the first corner. But if Ulysse Delso can brave it out and get a better start, he might be able to snatch the lead of the race here. He's in prime position for the championship, but we're only on lap number 5. We're about to start lap number 6. Here we go again. Fantastic restart from Guillaume Dumoulin. Not a bad restart from Florian Venturi. Ulysse Delso was that little bit slower away. And is he going to lose out to Guillaume de Flandre here? Can he sneak his way up the inside? The number 77 car looked to try and squeeze its way through. They're all safely, I think, through turn number 1 this time through, and locked brakes there. That is Felipe Rebello that locks the brakes on the PK Car Sport number 11 car. That was the car that was in the barriers yesterday. No ill effects for Felipe, but fantastic restart from Guillaume Dumouriez. He got his foot down straight away, Alan, and already is looking to try and break away.
Yeah, it was a good reaction by him. Wasn't that good by Ulysse Delso, but long time to go.
Long time to go. Drive-through penalty for Francisco Parli, by the understanding of what we've just received, the information. That's a number 31 car for Race Art Blue Motors. So that car will have a drive-through penalty, some sort of infringement when it came to the restart procedure, is what we gather. Guillaume Dumouriez leads the race. Florian Venturi in second place. The white and black Toyota of Ulysse Delso there in third place, but under pressure from Guillaume de Flandre. Very sideways is Felipe Rebello in fifth position, coming under pressure by the look of things from Willy Bussena.
To be in the 3 car now, right now, that must be stressy. You have so much pressure from behind. You don't want to lose places, and the championship contender is just in front of you. So difficult. It's not going to be easy.
Young driver as well. Ulysse Delso, just 21 years of age. Florian Venturi, who is the driver that is looking to try and stitch up the championship, is just 17 years of age, having competed in the French Formula 4 championship last year. But some of these young drivers have very mature heads on their shoulders, don't they? Which is a good thing as a racing driver.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the end, it's a League 2, and that's a place to learn. That's the place to make mistakes, you know.
I wonder if Florian Venturi maybe missed a gear there coming out of the Jackie Ick chicane, because all of a sudden he's under pressure from Ulysse Delso. These are the 2 drivers that are second and first in the championship respectively. They are bumper to bumper as they turn their way round through turn number 2, down towards Canal Bocht they will go, and then up towards Bianchi Bocht, which is where they're heading any second now, absolutely together. Of course, now that they're squabbling, it's bringing Guillaume de Flandre into the mix as well. This is good stuff for the championship, good stuff for the spectators.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure some people in the pit lane just losing hair right now.
I've not got much to lose. Absolutely together. This is great stuff. And Florian Venturi now knows he's under pressure, knows that he needs to stay ahead of Ulysse Delso to keep his championship hopes alive. And what's happening? They're slowing each other up, and Guillaume Dumouriez is disappearing away.
Yeah, he was unlucky yesterday. I guess
he was on pole by half a second. He had problems early on in the race and had to pit. They got it sorted. He got out there, got the fastest lap, which gave him pole for today. But he really wants to win, Guillaume Dumouriez. He's only ever claimed 1 victory in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series, and that was at Franciacorta earlier on in the year, where he took victory in 1 race, and his teammate in the second of the 2 PK Car Sport cars, Felipe Rebello, who lies 5th at the beginning of this lap, took victory in the other one. It was a good weekend for them in Franciacorta. Can they top it off with a good weekend here in Zolder? We'll find out over the course of what are the remaining 10 laps, including the one that they are on. Right, there's the cone. I know exactly where that will be. That will be the Villeneuve chicane, and cone guy is going to have to go back out there and try and re-secure that one. Here's the fight for second and third place. Florian Venturi again under pressure from Ulysse Delso. He's not going to try anything up at turn number 1. He's got to be conscious. He knows Ulysse Delso that he's in position, as long as he hangs where he is and stays where he is, that the championship is his. Any mistake at all and Guillaume de Flandre could be through, and Felipe Rebello might follow him through.
Yeah, I mean, Florian is in that position. He's not going to win the championship right now unless he's slowing down Ulysse, and then he will cause some fight. If he's thinking about it right now and he's doing that, that's a smart move, but I'm not sure. But I think it's just Ulysse is quicker than him. But yeah, the slower they go, the more chances Florian will win the championship.
Yeah, he's got to back him up, hasn't he? He's got to back Ulysse Delso up here, but Ulysse Delso is at the moment now just starting to fall away a little bit from Florian Venturi. He still sits there in third place, but with Florian Venturi in second, he'd be on 497 points, and Ulysse Delso in third place, he'd be on 503 if they stay where they are. He really needs, does Florian Venturi, Ulysse Delso to drop down to something like, well, even if Florian Venturi allows Ulysse Delso to drop down to 6th position, they'd be tied on points, but on countback there would be more wins for Delso, so he'd still be the champion. Number 70 car there, that was a spin as well, wasn't it? That was going to be Mirko Schurtis. Great to see Mirko back in the championship, Alan. Did we spot what happened?
Sorry?
Did you spot what happened?
No. I was fascinated by your calculation abilities.
It's all written down, rest assured. It's not all in the head. I couldn't do that. So Guillaume Dumoulin sprinting away. He leads by 3.5 seconds. Looks as though Felipe Rebello is coming under pressure. That will be from the Knauf number 37 car of 2009 Elite 2 champion Willy Bucena. Can he do anything about it? He's having a look as they head up towards turn number 2, but no, just good positioning of the car by Felipe Rebello. Keeps the Frenchman behind, needs to make sure he doesn't wash out wide through turn 2 and up towards Kanalbocht at turn 3 where they're heading now. And it looks as though, yeah, the Brazilian for PK Carsport, the Chevy, hangs on to 5th place, still with Bucena sitting right behind him. The gap first to second came down last time through. Now that Florian Venturi has dispensed with Ulysse Delceau, Venturi's just gone and set the fastest lap of the race so far, so the lead advantage is coming down.
Yeah, and if you win the race, I think you will win the championship now.
If he wins the race, he'd be on 507 points, and that would mean that, yeah, if Ulysse Delceau finishes in 3rd, he'd be on 503. Yeah, Florian Venturi has got to hunt down the race leader and take the lead of the race if Ulysse Delceau stays where he is.
Interesting.
Felipe Rebello and Willy Bucena side by side. That is going to be for 5th and 6th position. Who's going to come out ahead by the look of things? Good driving by Felipe Rebello means he just ahead still of the number 37 Knauf car of Willy Bucena. So the order still remains the same. This is up towards the conclusion of lap number 9 now, where Guillaume Dumoulin is heading. Remember, this is a 16-lap race. We do have the ability to go green-white checkered should we be under safety car and the race director deem it appropriate to use the green-white checkered. We didn't need it yesterday. Hopefully we won't need it today. We'll stay green for the rest of the race. Over the start-finish line they go. Dumoulin leads from Venturi, Delceau, De Flandre, Felipe Rebello almost side-by-side again with Willy Bucena trying to attack him up towards the first left-hander at Durst. But it is still going to be the Brazilian that comes out ahead. They're side-by-side on the exit of the corner. And it looks as though, yeah, Willy Bucena is through.
Wow, that was a bold move.
Well, he was sort of didn't think he'd got the job done there, but as they came out of the corner...
I was surprised to see that he managed to pass him.
I'm the same. I do wonder whether maybe Felipe Rebello has either a slight problem or is suffering maybe with a little bit of understeer and just ran out a little bit wider than he intended.
Yeah, you never know. I think that also the car just rebuilt again during the night.
Just looking back to what's going on in the rest of them, of course, Florian Venturi leading the Rookie Cup at this stage and on course to become the Rookie Champion if he stays where he is for this year. Could be the overall champion, who knows at this stage. In the Legend Trophy, Jerry Zavert down in 17th place leads the Legend Trophy and is on course to be crowned a triple Legend Cup Legend Trophy champion, having claimed the Gentleman's Cup the year prior as well as it was badged. And for the Ladies' Cup, Carmen Boit-Gilles is ahead of Ariana Casoli, which means that Carmen Boit-Gilles would become the Ladies' Cup champion. But we're only just past half distance at this stage, and there's still plenty more racing to come here. One car I'm watching now is the number 2 car of Kenko Miura, who appears to be the Japanese driver, closing up on Willy Bucena and Felipe Rebello's little squabble as the race leader is about to come over the start-finish line and conclude another lap. Here he comes. Guillaume Dumoulin continues to lead the race. The lead advantage, it was 3.5 seconds. It was down to 2 at the start of the lap, or 1.9. It's gone back up to 2.1. So Florian Venturi lost a little bit of time on that lap, but generally the gap is coming down first to second, and he's beginning to gap Ulysse Delceau in 3rd, who is still busy trying to keep away Guillaume de Flandre.
Yeah, I think Guillaume Dumoulin is kind of managing his pace. I mean, I want to believe that that's what he's doing, because he did a 1:42 and then suddenly post the best lap of the race. So I guess he's managing the gap, not putting too much pressure on his tires. And yeah, I guess Florian has to push as hard as he can to catch him.
Florian has got to push, yeah. Florian Venturi is 2nd at the moment. Ulysse Delceau is still 3rd. If Florian Venturi stays in 2nd place and Ulysse Delceau drops from 3rd down to 4th, that's still not enough for Florian Venturi to be crowned the champion. It would still be 4 points between them, but in favour of that car there, the number 3 car of the Frenchman, Ulysse Delceau. So he remains in 3rd, and say even if he drops to 4th, it's still good enough for him at this stage, and the spotter will be telling him that. Ulysse Delceau will also, I'm sure, be more than aware of that as well. Though you can see Florian Venturi ahead of him. I think actually the gap from Venturi to Delceau is heading in the right direction as far as the car of Ulysse Delceau is concerned as well. They're on lap number 11 currently, so there's the one that they are about to start will be lap number 12. And that means that just 5 more racing laps to go if we stay green. So here comes our race leader, the PK Car Sport Chevy of Belgian driver Guillaume Dumoulin. Continues to lead the race at this stage. Florian Venturi, number 32, in second place. The white and black car is Ulysse Delso. He's still there in third place, but you can't really say that he's even got one hand on the championship trophy as yet. Perhaps one finger, but with 5 laps to go still. Who knows, Alan? Who knows? As we saw yesterday, the dynamic of Elite 1 changed, and Elite 2 so much in yesterday's races.
Yeah, you never know until you cross the line. It's unbelievable.
The tension will be building, the nerves will be building. As a racing driver, you're now probably starting to hear some strange noises just in your head, but you'll think that maybe there's something wrong with the car. Is that something that you think they'll also be considering as well?
Yeah, you have to consider this track is very, very brutal on the shock absorbers and the dampers and everything. You have to take in consideration, if you go too hard on the curbs, you might risk damaging your car, damaging the front bumper, damaging something, and you definitely don't want that. So it's a balance. You want to go fast, but you want to be safe.
Yep. Okay. And all those strange noises, they won't exist, but in your head they will exist.
Yeah,
in your head,
I can't even
they will
tell you
exist.
how many times I got it.
And if you want to see how much cars use the curbs, log on to our Facebook or Twitter page and have a look at Nicola Rocca from yesterday, because he was airborne, to say the least, wasn't he? Yeah. Cal Airways. So yeah, have a look at that one. He was fully in the air, and you look at the compression on the suspension when he landed as well. Thankfully, the car hung on to the end of the race. But yeah, it goes to show it's that fine balance between using the curbs but not using too much of the curbs.
But not using too much. Yeah. If you're hitting them too hard, you will break the front bumper, and you will lose some aerodynamic because of that, and it causes so many problems. So again, it's just a matter of balance. Those cars can take a lot of pressure out under them, but you still don't know. You don't want to take those risks.
No, and the one thing as a driver, when it's double points, you can't afford a non-finish, and sadly that was what happened in the Elite 2 race yesterday to the number 77 car of Guillaume de Flandre, who still sits there in 4th position at the moment. Great little fight heading up towards Erst, turn number 1. That is the number 8 car that is in the hands of Nicola Risitano, fighting away with number 4. Great to see him having a good run in this one, which is Jean-François Dumoulin, one of the drivers that's come across as part of the NASCAR exchange program as well that exists. We regularly see him racing in the NASCAR Pinty Series, which was what Fred Gabillon went over to race in Canada. And the flip side of that is that Jean-François Dumoulin comes over here to race with us this weekend, and he's embroiled in a great little battle. It's for 14th and 15th position, but you can see just how close it is. And in fact, you could argue it's 13th, 14th, 15th and 16th, because Gilles Linster is at the front of the little quartet of cars, and at the back of the quartet is the number 73 Knauf car of Paul Guillaume, the Frenchman. So that's a great little fight that the director has picked up on, that's heading around the circuit. Here it comes now in towards the braking area for what will be the Gilles Villeneuve chicane this time through. Yeah, so bouncing over the curbs. And it looks as though Jean-François Dumoulin might try and sneak his way through and ahead here of Nicola Risitano, who was, and I think still is, lying second in the rookie standings, but lost ground with problems yesterday to Florian Venturi. So the chances of him becoming the rookie champion, particularly as Florian Venturi is lying second overall in the race, are becoming ever more distant and evaporating in front of his eyes. So 13 laps completed. Fastest lap of the race for Willy Busenna that time through. The Knauf number 37 car is now really starting to come good in this one. The only driver down into the 1 minute 39 second bracket, Alan, and that's very late on in the race.
Yeah, I think the gaps became big between each other, so they have more air and more space to really concentrate on driving, and that's where you actually start seeing fastest lap. Yeah, he's pushing also, but there is not a lot of time left. So
they're running out of time, and Jean-François Dumoulin will know that he's running out of time if he wants to squeeze his way through and past the number 8 Racers Motorsport Ford Mustang of the Italian driver Nicola Risitano. You can see the two of them still busy squabbling away, but nothing going as yet for the Canadian driver, who is not eligible to score championship points this weekend, but is thoroughly enjoying himself. And in fact, here comes that little quartet again. Gilles Linster, the driver from Luxembourg, under pressure from Nicola Risitano, who is looking to try and gain a place. Nothing doing again.
He lost his bleeder already from hitting too hard.
The curbs, yeah, it's gone.
the white bumper, which is already broken, and he broke it again from hitting too hard the curbs. So yeah, it would affect the car in the end. We have less downforce.
It certainly does, yeah, affect the car. I mean, they're not overly reliant on huge amounts of aerodynamic splitters and sort of dive planes and things. But
every small piece of car is something, you know.
And as we can see, Francesco Parli's car there, yeah, the front splitters hanging off, there's damage to the wing. However, for our race leader, Guillaume Dumay, car looks absolutely...
Look at his splitter. Perfect.
Absolutely perfect. He leads by 3.6 seconds over Florian Venturi, who is in second place. But for Florian Venturi, second place is not, as we're now on lap 15, the penultimate lap, going to be enough for the championship, whilst Ulysse Delceau, his main championship rival, is behind him, and he's only 0.6 of a second behind him. So Ulysse Delceau is starting to crank it up a little bit here and reapply the pressure to Florian Venturi, who is going to be trying, rest assured, as hard as he possibly can, but there's nothing he can do at this stage. He needs to be closing up really on Guillaume Dumay, the race leader. That hasn't happened. He did for a period of time, but the gap is right the way back out to 3.6 seconds. There is Dumay, there is Florian Venturi. And you can see right behind him is the white and black RDV competition Toyota Camry of Ulysse Delceau, who is now, what, a lap and a quarter away, Alan, of potentially becoming the Elite 2 champion for this year.
It's exciting.
This is where your nerves start pumping, your heart starts beating.
No one will do any stupid mistake.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so. The cars are tired, the drivers are tired.
Buchena is there. Wow, that's
second, third, fourth, fifth, all absolutely together. There's number 78, Jerry de Vert. He is on to become the Legends champion again for this year as well, if he stays where he is. And in the Ladies' Cup, let's have a quick look. Carmen Boit-Gilles, the number 1 car in 21st position, has nearly 6 seconds over the Ariana Casoli, so it looks as though the Spanish lady is going to become back-to-back champions in the Ladies' Cup. So on to the final lap of the race. Florian Venturi is still looking as though he is not going to be doing quite enough here. For Guillaume Dumay, he is on potentially for his second ever career win in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series and his home NASCAR Grand Prix as well. But for Ulysse Delceau, who was diagnosed with Asperger's and came through the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series driver development program, found motorsport as a way to express himself. It's matured him enormously, and I would imagine both for Ulysse and for his dad, there might be the odd tear shed on the podium, because there is no bigger fan of Ulysse than his father.
Yeah, that's going to be... I'm pretty sure it's going to be an emotional podium.
It's going to be an emotional one, but the checkered flag isn't out as yet. Remember, anything can change at this stage. For the final time, round through the Villeneuve chicane comes our race leader, Guillaume Dumay. What a result this would be for him, a driver who has recently become the proud father of René. His wife, Emily, I'm sure will be at home watching and probably in floods of tears as well at the possibility that he might win his second race at his home Grand Prix. And well, he is about to very shortly head up the short straight, so through the Jochen-Rindt-Bucht, up the straight towards the Jackie X-Pop he will come. It is going to be surely a win, as long as he's neat and tidy through the final corner. He's got 4 seconds in hand, he can afford to be. Guillaume Dumay is going to win the last race of the season for the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series Elite 2 division. But Ulysse Delceau is poised to become the champion. Here comes Guillaume Dumay. He wins his second race in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series at his home NASCAR Grand Prix. Second is Florian Venturi. He misses out on the championship as Ulysse Delceau finishes third and becomes the champion for 2018, subject to official confirmation, Alan.
Yeah, as always, but still, it's amazing. It's amazing. I know the guy since I'm here in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series, and I saw his development, how he developed through the years. That's just amazing to see, and it's a
great story, isn't it?
It's a great
story, and goes to show that, you know, if you've got a few problems, if you can find something that just allows you to express yourself, whatever your problems are, and it's something that you enjoy, as Ulysse Delceau does, then all of a sudden the barriers to life come down, don't they? And you just find your comfort zone, and that's exactly what Ulysse Delceau has done with Asperger's. Motorsport is his comfort zone, and he's very, very good at it, isn't he?
Yeah.
So there we go, Guillaume Dumay is the winner, but Florian Venturi finishes in second place. He misses out on the overall championship, but he will be, again subject to the official confirmation, the rookie champion for this year. Ulysse Delceau finishes in third, Guillaume de Flandre fourth, Willy Busenna fifth, and Felipe Rebello in sixth place. It looks so Jerry de Vert in 17th place will be the Legend Cup champion for this year, and we are waiting the arrival over the start-finish line. They'll be the last two cars to take the checkered flag. There goes Carmen Boitschil now through and over the start-finish line. She finishes in 21st place and becomes the ladies champion for this year. Confirmation of the results. The win goes the way of Guillaume Dumery. He's about to enjoy some donuts down at turn number 1 at Erst. He's just waiting for the field to go through before he can get the call from the spotter to do that. He celebrates the win in traditional style with a perfectly performed donut down there at turn number 1. Florian Venturi finishes in second place, but is the rookie champion for this year, and third is the champion for 2018 in the Elite 2 division, Ulysse Delceau. Fourth goes the way of Guillaume de Flandre, with Willy Busenna in fifth and Felipe Rebello in sixth. Kenko Miura, Pedro Bonet, Mathieu Dreza and Tom Bonin round out the top 10. In 11th, it's Justin Kuntz, head of Max Lancer, Gilles Linser, Nicola Risitano, and Jean-Francois Dumoulin completes the top 15. Paul Guillaume was 16th. 17th, the legend champion for this year, number 78, Jerry de Vert. At his home NASCAR Grand Prix, now becomes, 3 times a legend champion back-to-back. He was the Gentleman's Trophy winner the year prior to that. Mirko Schultes is there in 18th. 19th is Simone Loretti, ahead of Francisco Parle. And in 21st position, Carmen Boitschil is the Ladies' Cup champion for this year, having finished ahead of her main championship rival, Arianna Casoli. The last of the cars to take the checkered flag, Pier Luigi Veronese. So that is the way that the order has finished. Alan, I'm not sure whether you're able to stay with us, whether you need to shoot off, but what a way to finish the season.
I don't even know my schedule.
Your schedule is you need to race later on.
Yeah, I know I need to race.
Don't forget that. Don't forget that.
I don't even know what time is my race now.
What time is your race?
It will be nice if you
can tell you that your race starts at 15:20 local time. Okay. 15:20 local time.
What is pre-grid?
Pre-grid, right? Okay, I've never had to do this with a race driver in the commentary box before. Make sure you're at pre-grid for 3 o'clock. Would be a good idea.
Thank you.
If not, you might be in trouble. You can watch it live, of course. Remember, we will be broadcasting that live as well. We are due to go live on our stream. It'll be about 3:10 where we go live with our stream. So the car's heading down in towards Victory Lane. We can see Florian Venturi's car pulled up in Victory Lane. We can see the number 3 car of Ulysse Delceau in Victory Lane. Andre is going to be down there to hopefully gather some thoughts from our race winner. As Ulysse Delceau clambers out of the car, you can see the light blue crash helmet on Ulysse Delceau, who will be overcome with emotion. And, well, he knew what he had to do. He might not have been quite as quick at the original start or the restart, but he knew exactly what he needed to do. He knew the task that was in hand ahead of him. And, well, considering the fact that he's just 21 years of age, Ulysse Delceau, it does beg the question as to what he might be able to do in the future, Alan. It'd be great to see him back, and I'm sure we will see him back in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. The big question is it going to be Division 1 next year?
I think he raced there before now. Yeah, he's been there. Yeah, I think that's his place after that. I mean, when you win the Elite 2 championship,
it's the place to go, isn't it?
Yeah, you need to go to the next step, and it's obviously Elite 1 race. And yeah, you can see it in our Elite 1 division. Gianmarco Ercoli and Stinas, they are there. They are fighting with us. So he might be able to be there also.
Yeah, possibly it's going to be interesting for RDV competition as well, who in Elite 1 this year have been running Bobby Labonte and have been running Fred Gabillon. If he were to stay with RDV competition, it makes it intriguing for them as to how they cope, or maybe they have to expand the team, or what happens with their driver lineup for next year. Who knows?
That's also interesting.
It will all sort itself out over the winter period. That's the one thing. That's the very one thing.
I don't think he'd think about it right now. Let him enjoy the championship. Let him enjoy it.
Ulysse Delceau hasn't taken his crash helmet off as yet. There's Guillaume Dumoulin just heading into the Victory Lane area. And the PK Carsport team will be as pleased as punch with that. It's such disappointment for him yesterday, proudly holding the Belgian flag as he clambers out of the car. Belgian driver, Belgian circuit, home NASCAR Grand Prix, has just become a father, and he wins the race, Alan.
Yeah, congratulations to him. I felt bad for him yesterday when I saw his car start slowing down. He definitely deserved it, and it's so nice to see a Belgian driver wins here in Zolder, in their country. yeah, I wish NASCAR will come to Israel.
It would be good. The weather would be warmer than it was this morning.
Oh my God, I'm not programmed to this kind of weather.
As you said yesterday,
2 degrees,
32 degrees back to 4 degrees. Yeah, it's a bit of a culture shock, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
So the celebrations down there in Victory Lane. Hopefully, Andre will be down there to maybe. We might sort of have to get out quickly, ready for the interview, so we don't chop across the interview. There is Guillaume Dumoulin now, who's just about to remove the hands device and the crash helmet. He's busy chatting to Anthony Kumpen. There's another double former champion, Anthony Kumpen, who sadly is not quite fit enough to race as yet. He was involved in an incident at Tour Speedway that destroyed the car and sort of destroyed Guillaume Dumoulin's chances maybe of securing the Elite 2 championship. But let's grab a quick word with our race winner, who's down there in Victory Lane.
Guillaume Dumoulin, just a quick chat after winning this second final here at Circuit Zolder. How do you feel?
Great. After the disappointment yesterday with the broken gearbox, it was a really big disappointment because all the weekend we were quickest, and we decided before the weekend to make it really a success because of all the mess we had during the whole season. But okay, it makes up. I'm very happy with the victory today. My wife and my little kid are watching at home, so and of course the team. Great car also yesterday, but today the luck was on our side.
Right, congratulations, Guillaume Dumoulin.
So fantastic to hear from our race winner, Guillaume Dumoulin, but it's really, I think, time to maybe see whether we can point Andre in the general direction of our champion for this year, which is Ulysse Delceau. It's hugely crowded down there. Now that Ulysse Delceau has taken off his distinctive light blue crash helmet, we just need to almost locate him. He's a little bit further down through Victory Lane, but his English is improving all of the time. And as we say, for a driver who was diagnosed with Asperger's, he came through the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series driver development program. Log on to euronascar.com, have a look at that, send in your racing CV, and you could head to one of the taster days and become part of the programme, maybe moving forwards as well. Who knows? But motorsport is a great way for him to express himself, and he really has matured as an individual over the years that we've seen him in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series, and it looks as though he is on for great things potentially moving forwards, having secured the Elite 2 championship, following in the footsteps of the likes of Stinis Longines and Gianmarco Ercoli and Thomas Ferrando, of course. Let's see what he might be able to do in Elite 1. Possibly next season, subject to official confirmation. There is the pristine, there's the front splitter still. It's still on it, Alan. Absolutely. Guillaume Dumoulin, great driving from him. He seemed to have the pace all weekend, hasn't he?
Yeah, he was really quick from the very, very beginning. His pole position was really amazing also. He was just unlucky yesterday, and sometimes, but that's motorsports, you know.
There's Anthony Kumpen doing a selfie with the race-winning car in the background and the team as well, and that's going to be a great shot that I'm sure they're going to be posting on their social media. And there is our race winner, Guillaume Dumoulin. It's going to be a very proud moment for him as well, and yeah, congratulations to himself and Emily on recently having had a new arrival in the family. There is our championship winner. Time for an interview with the winner.
Elite 2 champion of 2018. How do you feel? I can't believe it. Before the race, I was in stress, and but I was control my emotion. I was focused. I was focused on my race, like the race in the whole race in the season. I will really thanks to my team, Claude, my ingénieur, and my sponsor. And thanks to my family, because I was I can't believe it. I don't find the. I'm really I'm really thanks to all my fans, and thank you. Thank you very much. Congratulations, your Elite 2 2018 champion, Ulysse Delceau.
Fantastic stuff Andre, wonderful to hear both from the race winner and from our champion. The scenes of emotion and the celebrations will continue down on the podium, but thanks for joining me in the commentary box.
Thank you very much.
I wish you all of the very best in your race later on.
Yeah.
You know, you could be the champion.
I
Who
think
knows?
I'm better in the car than in a commentary box.
No, you've done. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. But that's it for the moment from Circuit Zolder. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget the Elite One race in which Alan Day will be racing and could be crowned the champion will be streamed live.
Finger crossed.
Fingers crossed. Absolutely. Will be streamed live later on today. We are scheduled to go live at 3:10 in the afternoon if you're watching Central European time. It is 9:10 in the morning if you're watching in the US Eastern time. But from the moment, from Alan Day and myself, Mark Werrell, that's all from Circuit Zolder. Goodbye.
Zo, daar gaan we, dames en heren. Podiumceremonie, race number 2 in Elite 2. In third position, well done, and congratulations, troisième position pour Ulysse Kelso. In second position, deuxième position, félicitations, Florian Valtteri. And race winner, vainqueur, terminal for the race d'aujourd'hui is Guillaume Coulmay. Van het podium de Belgische nationale hymne. Voor race